Okay, so this video is about getting grounding down through the big toe knuckles. So getting your weight forward enough, but really feeling the connection through the big toe knuckles. So for people who have tough time getting out of their seat and get maybe part way up and then kind of flop back and can't approximate, or it's like they're guessing where their weight needs to go, or they're throwing themselves, so they're not very accurate, or they're just not getting far enough in general to know where to be, so they're not on target, and not just having a sense of how to do that. The other category of people just aren't good at connecting. Maybe they're not. Maybe they have some sense, but they're just not consistent enough or on target enough. Or maybe it's just off on one side versus the other due to injury or some other factors. So we're gonna kind of work on trying to be more consistent with that. So in the first category, we wanna make sure that we're not throwing our weight forward. We have a good sense of grounding in. Think of like ice picks or driving stakes or something. You wanna make sure you get the pressure at least in those the big toe knuckles. So even before your weight gets there, you want to have a sense of pressure on those big toe knuckles, and that kind of pulls in a little bit from the inner thighs, not knock knee, but just kind of pressure there. And when your weight gets there, it's even more pronounced, and it's like you're kind of drawing your weight out. So you want to make sure your feet are kind of tucked underneath you. It makes it easier, especially once your weight gets there and you're kind of pulling yourself out of your seat, and your weight is far enough forward, but not overshooting it where you're in your toes. It's the toe knuckles. So we kind of come forward and out of the seat, and it should be very controlled both forward and backward. I don't want to fall back behind, so I keep those big toe knuckles anchored, and that really keeps my weight under my control. If my toe knuckles lift up, I'm going to plop back in the seat. So once I'm up, when I walk, I get my chest right over that end toe knuckle. Now this maps, the rest of it maps, but I want to get my seat belt here, my hip back and my heel, and then my knee out to my pinky toe knuckle, but my chest is always anchoring over that big toe knuckle. I'm driving that stake with my weight there, and that's really my balance point of the whole thing. That's what really sets it. If we're looking at the plug, that's what completes that circuit. That's the final piece when I roll from my heel to my big toe. That's 1, 2, 3. That's what completes that circuit, and that is the final piece of that. So that's where everything really comes together. So if you can get that sense of that, and the other part with that is when I pull back, when I sink down, I'm driving more back into the hip part of the seat belt, but as I come up, I'm now coming more forward into that big toe. And again, that's the final piece coming up before I start to shift into my next step. So we pull back here, I'm still getting the toe down, but I really pull in through it as I come into my next step, because that's when I toe off, where my weight is, where my pressure is mostly through the toe. So hopefully as you practice these things, it really helps you to feel that connection, like you can almost trace your weight through your foot. And that way you don't have to think about so many things through the rest of your body, because you can feel everything through the foot. It's like a remote control for your body, everything through the foot or through the feet. And it just really makes things feel much more simplistic, because it's just a smaller area of your body rather than trying to think about everything all the time through your whole body. It just makes things much simpler and easier.